Oh boy. Hello.
Your volume's not on.
There we go. Thank
Yes.
There.
you for saying that. As I was saying, and you know, now
No.
it totally
No.
makes sense. No,
No volume.
Can't hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
We can't hear you.
Huh.
I have to move the opposite way, I think.
Because mine says you can hear me. Let's try technology. So you guys start talking. I'll be right there.
Nope. Nope. Sorry.
Can I hear you?
Sorry, can't hear you.
Hmm. We're going to try something different right now and
I
say,
can hear you now.
there we go. Hi,
Hi.
everyone. Hello. Thank you very much for joining us. And for anybody who was wondering why there seems to be so much chaos going on, this is because this is our first ever live streamed Q&A. So thank you for everyone who joined us for our first live streamed benefit screening of Terminally Optimistic Me, the one that is having difficulty with her technology to the point that she is now literally sweating. My name is Miss Shannon. I am the live stream benefit screening. I am the and we're going to actually have to have you mute your background there. So this is I am Miss Shannon. I am the diversity and community relations director of the Twin Cities Film Fest, and very happy to have all of you join us. Hopefully, we work this out, and this is something that we'll be able to do often as we are helping people showcase the amazing films we have as part of the Twin Cities Film Fest. So, Kim, thank you very much for joining us. Dustin, I appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see if we can get Andres and Eva back on as soon as they are available. I'll happy to add them in. As we are going to go throughout this Q&A, first, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your life and your story with all of us in this. When Andres, is he the one that said, hey, would you be willing to be part of this Q&A? I mean, would you be part of this documentary? Is that how you got involved?
Yeah, I'm been friends with Eva for a while, and
You better turn the sound off.
yeah, it was his idea. And when he asked, of course, I said yes.
Right. Well, thank you very much for saying yes. And Eva, we were just asking how they got involved with this. And again, I already thanked her. I want to thank you as well. And of course, we'll thank Andres also for sharing all of these stories with us, because so much of what you said throughout Terminally Optimistic was definitely trying to make sure that we truly understand what it is to walk not just a day or a mile in your shoes, but years in your shoes. So thank you very much for sharing all of this. And thank you for joining us tonight, because I'm sure that you are going, you know what? I'm already going through a lot that's going on right now. Now I have to be on this live stream with this lady who doesn't know how to turn on her microphone. So thank you very much for your patience. Now that we have you on our Q&A live stream, Andres, can you tell everybody what was your reason for starting and filming and directing Terminally Optimistic?
Well, I think one of the main reasons was that given that I'm so close to the subject matter, and that many times that I heard, well, people don't know what metastatic breast cancer means. People don't know how to talk to us. I mean, everybody's well-meaning, but they're not quite sure how they can help, or if they can help. and also I guess to dispel or make people aware that life continues. It's
Right.
not the same life, but it does continue. And as you just saw in the film, it can last a while.
Right. Right. Well, thank you very much for that. And when you are sharing that story with people, one of the things that both Kim and Eva said is that people just don't know how to respond sometimes and what to say. Is that something that you think that this might be able to help dispel that if they're able to see a documentary like this?
Well, I would hope so.
Mhm.
Given that it hasn't been out to wider audiences yet, I think it does paint a picture of what life with metastatic breast cancer is like, and people give, and also it's coming out at a time where metastatic breast cancer has become more of a known phrase, known disease. It's actually in our mainstream and commercials for
Right.
medicine for metastatic breast cancer. 2 years ago, people didn't know what that meant.
Right, right. And I think one of the things that I took away from it is not only are we trying to continue to bring people into the awareness part of these things, but also make sure that they know that this is something that requires additional research and additional funding so that we can eventually have people be able to go, there's actually a cure, not just these recurring treatments. Is that correct?
I wouldn't call it a cure.
Hmm.
It's more of a changing what is a terminal disease
Right.
to a chronic, and to quote Metaviver, a manageable disease for a better quality of life.
Well, I want to bring up Metaviver as well, because you were saying that there are very few organizations, and when looking up Metaviver and all of our viewers, we encourage them to go to their website. They are still one of the sole organizations available that is genuinely researching that. Is that correct?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
It's the premier, or the spearheading that movement and that research. Yeah.
Well,
And
I
what's
appreciate.
special about them is 100% of their donations go to research.
Right.
It's not like there's a percentage that they take out. It's 100% of whatever you donate, it goes to the metastatic research. So there aren't a lot of nonprofits like that either.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And we'll make sure that we put all of their information in the chat. We also want to make sure that we're focusing on the fact that it is looking and researching into better treatments and cures for metastatic breast cancer. We'll make sure that some of the general information that's out there for people who may be early on their journey and need to get to the first step of maybe finding out if they even are in this world. We'll give that information as well before we end the Q&A today. But normally when we talk to people as they are filming a documentary like this, and Andres, this is for you and all of the principals as well, we get to ask a question that says, did you learn anything as you were filming it? Was there anything that came as a surprise, even as you were trying to ask questions and bring us into your world? Was there anything that you're like, I didn't know that this is where we were going to end up?
I think one of the main realizations that I had was that there was a very strong common thread through all three, Kim, Chrissy, and Eva. I mean, Dustin and I are living this with them on a daily basis. However, I wasn't aware of how strong the similarities were with them until I started talking with them, as far as their views on metastatic breast cancer and where it's going, how people treat them as people. And so I think that was one of my main revelations.
And Dustin, I remember seeing in the film that you talked about sometimes it's really just different once you have to go, we're done with the immediacy of it, but we just have to see what we're like as a family. How has that been impactful for you, like being able to share that with everyone in this documentary?
I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, I think being able to, something that Kim and I've always tried to do is we've always tried to be open, and sharing our story and sharing, our experience as a family has been important because, you know, living with metastatic cancer, it makes your, it makes everything so much more aware in terms of your mortality and how fleeting things are. But we still have to live our lives. We still have our family. We still have our daughter going to school. Look
Right.
at her photobombing us in the back.
Playing
Well
Smith.
done.
Hi, Reagan.
Reagan.
I think she is acting
That's life.
appropriately inappropriate. I have a 12-year-old. He would be shouting in the background if he had the choice. So thank you very much. I see that Rebecca has signed on as well. Should we bring her into the conversation? And one of the things that I also want to open up is I do have questions, but one of the great things you did throughout Terminally Optimistic was chat amongst yourselves and have questions of one another. So if there's anything that you want to bring up tonight that it doesn't look like I'm going to lead into, please, Eva, Kim, Dustin, Andres, be sure that you bring those questions up as well. So we do have some time. And I also want to say thank you to Kyle and Ellen who are watching us right now, who have already put some information into into our chat. Thank you very much for watching us both on Facebook right now. We appreciate you very much, and we'll make sure that there's additional information as we go throughout this Q&A. So thank you very much again for everyone that's joined us. Andres, I think it's interesting. Another thing that we were talking about is one of the things is that it seemed like a lot of our principals talked about where you don't know what to do with all the emotions, where when you're doing well, you almost feel guilty that you're doing well. Is that something that you guys really go, we're amazed that that's something that we have to deal with on top of everything else?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think being, having no evidence of disease for so long, you kind of feel like you're not totally like qualified anymore to be part of the group. It's a very odd sensation, but every time I watch this movie, I always think, oh my gosh, our group is so amazing. I miss everybody so much during COVID.
Right. Well, what is that like, layering on the additional stressors that we have that have recently come up because of the pandemic? Is it just one more, well, how do I navigate something that was already difficult in this new scenario? Were there a lot of changes that you had to make to your day-to-day?
Yeah, I mean, probably for those of us who are not working, it's actually probably less of a change.
Okay.
And it felt pretty easy, I think, because of that, because I'm just home all the time. But I will say, like, I really thought, especially at the very beginning, I thought twice about going to get my chemo because I wasn't really sure if that was a good idea.
Right.
Because I don't want to be, I'm not inside anywhere. Like, I don't go anywhere inside because, our immune systems are so messed up. You don't want to take any chances. Plus my dad lives with us.
Right.
So we're super, super careful.
Well,
Yeah, I would just add briefly too that I've had conversations with other caregivers that I know over the summer, and a couple of times it came up where it's almost like the rest of the world has a sense of how we live now, because it's like people who have cancer and are living with it, we have to be careful. We have to.
We've always had to focus on hand washing.
Yeah, we've always had to do these things and be careful, and it's always, and like Eva mentioned a couple of times in the video, it's kind of like you have to, we choose the social events that we go to based on how we're feeling and how we think it might impact our our situation, and how everybody kind of has that experience.
Right. Understandable. When you are doing the basics, as you said in this one, we were talking about, I remember you saying, even I have to plan ahead for what I'm going to do throughout the day. What part of that do we want to make sure that people really understand, that just because you don't look like you're sick right now, that there's still so much that you have to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard just because you do look pretty normal. So I don't know. I'm just careful. I'm very careful. I don't do a lot. You know?
Right.
For
That's
us,
the main thing, you know,
you know,
but
Reagan is
like
9
getting my
and
walking in is so important. You know, doing some version of exercise is so important to kind
Right.
of keep yourself not going downhill.
And Kim, you were talking about your daughter?
sorry, yeah, we have a 9-year-old now, and she goes to school. She's still going to school, but there's no busing. So we have to, you know, in the morning, who's going to take her? Like, am I feeling okay? Am I nauseous? Am I able to get out of bed? And that's like a daily, you know, it's like a daily thing. Okay, well, yeah, I can make her lunch today and I can take her, or no, I'm in bed till 10. So Dustin has to, you know, push back his work and take her. But it's, you really don't know how you're
Right.
going to feel. And that's a big deal because she has to get to school.
And
Right.
that's an example too of you know, another thing mentioned in the film was like very different. What works one day may not work the next day or for a month, you know. It's almost kind of like, you know, people like to talk about your new normal with cancer sometimes, and you know, whether or not that's a good term or not, it's your life constantly changing from scan to scan, or from, you know, week to week, depending on the side effects or depending on your treatment cycle, what side effects are showing up on any given day. So it's almost like you wake up every day not really knowing what's in store for you, and you just have to kind of roll with it as the day happens.
Well, one of the questions we have in the chat is, how do you weigh living the most out of every day with being cautious during the pandemic? Kirsten says that seems like impossible choices.
I stay home.
Okay. All right.
I'm happy to be home. It's, you know, I do my thing here, and you know, it was nice during the summer when we could be outside, but
Right.
now, you know, we're not going anywhere basically.
Understandable. And our question from Kyle is, what are your suspicions around why metastatic breast cancer research is so underfunded? Do you guys have any reasons why you think it might be overlooked?
I don't know. I kind of feel like the whole Komen and pink ribbon things put so much money into awareness and put so much money into mammograms, and that was kind of like the focus was to help early stage people. And I think what happened was, you know, now there are drugs that are on the market that are really helping later stage people, and I think now the research has to kind of catch up to the fact that it's not really the early stage that's the problem, it's the later stage that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of got turned into some marketing thing rather than research.
Right. So instead of it being tangible things for you and the rest of the people on this journey, you're saying we know we're here, but they're not really doing anything tangibly to make sure that you are taken care of appropriately.
Yeah, I just think it fell behind. I think the focus wasn't there.
Right.
You know, I think everybody's meaning, obviously, and it's not, you know, I don't think it's a purposeful thing. I just think it's something that happened.
Well, thank you very much for bringing us into your lives and into your homes. We appreciate that. Andres, how can we support Terminally Optimistic, the film?
The film, well, hopefully it will premiere in Minneapolis next year. So it will be for a wide audience, and I'll keep you posted as far as that is concerned. In the meantime, well, you know, spread the word and ask people to donate to Metaviver. And I think this is a great event, and I appreciate Twin Cities Film Fest for supporting us in this endeavor. So thank you so much, and thank you to Kim and Eva, and posthumously, of course, Chrissy, for trusting me on making this film.
And we want to definitely say thank you to you, Andres. I've known you for years and we appreciate all the work that you do. We know that you are a family with all of us at the Twin Cities Film Fest. So thank you for sharing the story. And we're glad that people are going to be able to learn more about this journey that you and everyone in Terminally Optimistic are going through. We'll make sure that we have the link to Metaviber. That is metaviber.org. We'll have it on the link of all of our pages. But we encourage you to learn more about what's going on with metastatic breast cancer and fund them. If you have it in your heart and have it in your purse or pocketbook, please make sure that you support this great cause. So thank you very much, Kim, Dustin, Regan. We appreciate you.
One last thing. I didn't mention Dustin or Reagan in this whole thank you piece. So thank you so much.
It's okay. You're like the least deserving of everybody that's been thanked.
Oh, so you're being modest. You're being absolutely modest. And we appreciate all of you. So again, we encourage everybody to make sure that they follow all of the news about Terminally Optimistic. We'll make sure there are updates found on all of our pages. You can learn more about this film and other films that are part of the Twin Cities Film Fest by going into our website. It's twincitiesfilmfest.org. We also encourage you to like and subscribe to all of our social media pages. And hopefully we will have this all worked out and be able to bring more impactful films like this to you. And also these Q&As with all of our principals. So thank you again, Kim, Dustin, Regan, we appreciate you. Andres, Eva, you are blessed. I appreciate speaking to all of you. And hopefully we will see everyone again very, very soon.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.